Now in this video, let's look at what we have here on the board. We have this column here for wages, and we have another column for number of employees. Now the wages from 250, the people that earn from 250 to 259 are 80 numbers. People that earn from 260 to 269 are 10 in numbers. People that earn like that up to 310 to 319 are 2 in numbers. You get? Now that is this particular table is called a group table. Why is it called a group table? Because from 250 to 259, you can have 251, 252, 253, 254, like that, up to 259. Likewise, the 260 to 269, you can find 261. That means any people within those range, you just put them. Instead of me to write 51, 252, 253 down to 259, I'll just put them 250 to 259. That means people that falls within that range, that people that are earning that amount of money are in numbers. People that are earning from 260, 261, 262 down to 269 are 10 in numbers. So if I say I want to bring out that data, people that is 261, 262, 263, like that, up to 269 in 10 places, it's going to be large. But if you just group it like this, the table is more easier to understand. And this is now a grouped data because you grouped all of them. That's why it's called a grouped data. Now the question says we should find the median wage of the 65 employees. We should find the median wage of the 65 employees. So since we have a group table, it means we are going to apply the grouped formula for median. You get? It's as simple as that. Since the table is a group case data, we are going to apply a group case formula for median. You get? Now let's proceed. Now the formula for median, before I start, this is the solution to this problem. Now the formula for median, N, is equal to L subscript I plus into N over 2 minus CFB N over 2 minus CFB bracket close all over F subscript I times C. Now this is the formula for the median for the group case. We have M to be equal to L subscript I plus into N over 2 minus CFB over F subscript I times C. Now, you might ask, how are we going to have CFB? How are we going to have L subscript I? How are we going to have F? Yes, it's a good question, but it's very simple. Now, this is what we are going to do. We are going to create a table. We are going to create a table. The table that we are going to create now is what that will guide us to, look for all of these things here, and then you can solve it properly. Now, I will represent this column for wages to be what W. That's what I'm going to do. So in place of this wages now, I'll call it W. That's what I'm going to do. I'll make it W. And the number of employees, I will take it to be the frequency. Now, why I'm taking it, remember, frequency in statistics means the number of observations you have in a given set of data. The number of observations that you have in a given set of data is known as the frequency of that particular set that you're given. Now, the frequency of this data now is 8, 10, 16, 14, like that down to 2. Those are the frequency because they are the number of times this particular number occur, the number of times this wages also occur, the number of times this particular wage occurs. That is the frequency. And then after that, I'll put my column for wage. I'll put my column for wage. I'll put my column for frequency. And then I'll put my next column for what? L subscript I means lower class boundary. Lower class boundary, which means for me to be able to solve this, I need the column for what? Class boundary. So I will call class boundary to C/B. Class boundary. Class boundary C/B. And then I'll put in that column. The next one is what? C. This one is what? CFB. Cumulative frequency before. That means I need another column which is called the cumulative frequency. Cumulative frequency. Now I'm putting that column also. Now I'll rule it out. Now what you have is from the first one we have 250 to 259. So 250 to 259, 260 to 269, 270 to 279, 280 to 289, 290 to 299, 300 to 309, 310 to 319. Now we are going to move all of them out. Now that we are going to have this table, it's going to make the calculation work to be easier than we even thought. This is just the main thing here. Once we have this table, then everything is made easier for us to. So now this is what I want you to notice. This is what I want you to notice. It is, we have this table, we created this table as a result of the formula that we have. So which means if you have a different formula, it's going to, it's going to alter the way you're going to create your table. You get it? So the formula you have decides how your table is going to be. So always take note, make sure you don't forget the formula. It's very important. Now, the frequency we have here, the first frequency is what? 8. The second one is what? 10, 16, 14, 10, 5, and 2. Remember, we have to find the median wage of the 65 employees. Now, for class banding, for you to be able to bring down this class banding column, what you are going to do is you subtract 0.5 from this, your left hand side now is known as your lower class limit. Now, this is your class limit column, your lower class limit, your upper class limit, your lower class limit, your upper class limit, lower class limit, upper class limit. So you subtract 0.5 from your lower class limit. So if you subtract 0.5 from 250, you are going to have 249.5. Now what you do to this right hand side now, that's the upper class limit. You add 0.5. So you subtract, add, subtract, add, subtract, add. You get it? You subtract 0.5, add 0.5, subtract 0.5, add 0.5. So if you subtract, if you add 0.5 to this now, you're going to have 259.5. You get it? Now if you subtract 0.5 from there, you're going to have 259.5. Now for time's sake, we're not going to be delaying any longer, but I believe I've explained how to create this. So we're going to have here to what 269.5, here becomes 269.5 to 279.5, 279.5 to 289.5, 289.5 to 299.5, 299.5 to 309.5. Now 309.5 to 319.5. What I did here is I subtract 0.5 from here, I add 0.5, subtract, add, subtract, add. And now what this one thing you need to notice, this upper class boundary always repeats. The upper class boundary repeats, upper class boundary repeats, upper, repeat, upper, like that. You see? But with constant practice, you're gonna master this very well. Now for the cumulative frequency column, what you do is you pick out the first frequency. What's the first frequency we have here? 8. Now you add 8 plus 10. What are you going to have? 18. Now that 18 that you have, you add it plus this 16 here. You have what? 34. That 34 that you have, add it plus 14. You are going to have 48. That 48 that you have, add it plus 10 here. You are going to have what? 58. 58. That 58 that you have here, add it plus 5. You are going to have what? 63. That 63 that you have, add plus 2. You are going to have what? 65. Which means, now this is what you need to note also. Your total frequency summation of f, if you add all of these frequencies together, you're going to have a total of 165. Can you see the last column, the last row for the cumulative frequency column, the last value there is 165, which means if this 65 does not correspond with your total frequency, then something is wrong. But you can see, the two are the same. Now that we are putting all of this, let's go straight into the formula. Now n over 2 is the median. Remember, median is that middle value. Now, n over 2, remember our n is the total number of observations. And the total number of observations in your frequency is what? 65. So you are going to have 65 divided by 2, which is what? 32.5. 65 divided by 2, 32.5. Now that we are putting that, what's the what we have here is 32.5. Now let's trace at 2.5 in the cumulative frequency column. Now 32.5 is greater than 18. Inside 8, you cannot see 32.5 because 32.5 is greater than 18. Now, likewise for 18, 32.5 is greater than 18. Let's look at 34. That's the class because inside 34, you will find 32.5. Inside of this 34, there's 32.5. So the first person that comes, is 34 because you might be asking, how about 48? Then 32.5 inside 48. What you do is you pick that first number that comes first. Like this is the first one before you comes to all of this. So the first member here is 34. So this is the class because inside of 34, you find 32.5. So this is called the median class. The median class. Now, the lower class boundary, I've told you, at the left hand side is known as your lower class boundary, meanwhile the right hand side is known as your what? The upper class boundary. So this is your lower class boundary, upper class boundary, lower, upper, like that. So the lower class boundary of the median class, remember this is what? The median class. So the lower class boundary of the median class is what? 269.5. You take 269.5 minus now, 269.5 plus into n over 2. N over 2 is 65 over 2, which is what? 2.5 minus. Now, CFB means cumulative frequency before the median class. CFB. Where is the cumulative frequency column? This is the column, right? This is the column. And this is the cumulative frequency for the median class. But this what we have here is cumulative frequency before. So this is the median class. So before this one, you are going to have what? 18 is after 18 that you have here. So before this cumulative frequency, you have 18. So cumulative frequency before is what? 18 times C. The C now is what? The class size. The class size. Now, how do you calculate the class size? Upper class boundary minus lower class boundary. Upper class boundary minus lower class boundary. Upper class boundary minus lower class boundary. Now, let's do that. 259.5 minus 249.5. Our class size is what? 10. So I can simply put it as what? I can put that 2.5 minus 18 times 10. You get it? Now the frequency of the median class. The frequency of the median class. This is the median class. Where is the frequency? The frequency is here because this is the frequency column. So the median class is this. And then the frequency of the median class is what? 16. You get it? And then you proceed because you are cutting everything now. So you bring it down. 269.5 plus into. Now 32.5 minus 18. You have what? 14.5 over 16 times 10. So 269.5 plus into. Now, this is what you're going to do. 14.5 divided by 16. 14.5 divided by 16. You're going to have 0.90625. 0.90625. That's for this times what? 10. So you are going to have 269.5 plus. Now you multiply this value times 10. You are going to have a number which is what? 9.0625. 9.0625. Now 9.0625 plus 269 plus 269.5. You are going to have another value which is what? 278.5625. Now, if you are taking to one decimal place, you can just put it as what? 278.6. And this becomes the value for the what? The wage. This becomes the value for the median wage of the 65 employees. You see? Now, this is what you need to notice. Once you create the table, the substitution of each of these values into the formula, it's very easy. So what you do is you keep on practicing to be more good in this. If you like this video and if you find this video interesting, do not hesitate, share this video to that your friend that has been complaining that this statistics are. Share it to them, and I will see you in my next class. One love. Bye bye.